I wanted to talk to you about this 1997 package that you were thinking of.
Yep.
I wanted to just do a run through the website again to see what page is done and what's left to be done. And then you and I haven't done the one page. I've got the one page layout, but I haven't completed it yet because we still need to finish off that story piece. And
Okay.
probably won't get done in this next hour, but I'm on a roll with that. Do you have a copy of the recording from the Sassy Roundtable on your phone?
The Sassy Roundtable.
Oh, you went, didn't you? Okay, no, okay, forget it. On the Sunday at the retreat, we did our own small group mastermind, and we all had 15 minutes to do our thing, and we each recorded what people said about it. But you weren't there, were you?
No, I had to leave.
Okay, I remember us talking about it. I remember you talking about your Speak to Sell talk at a previous time, and it was so on point, but we didn't record it, I don't believe so.
Yeah. The only time I did it was just on a whim, in the room with Lisa. And I just did my...
And it was really good. And the wording was superb, so that was cool. And I know Anand was saying that you're wanting to shift a little bit more away from the hiring piece.
Okay, here's something that I've spent some time really analyzing. And it's kind of an evolution as I'm kind of working through this, Jonathan. But the more I thought about it, I really did need to change my UBS because I was so focused on just hiring, thinking that is such a prevalent challenge out there, which it is. But what stopped me in my tracks was the realization that in many cases, not all, my ideal client isn't implementing the whole hiring process, right? They know they've got the challenge, they've got the frustration, but somebody else, typically HR, is doing all of that. So I started thinking, maybe I'm better served if I'm looking at my UBS from the perspective of how I get the best results in an organization, which is a combination of hiring the right people, evaluating the existing team, coming up with a development plan, and then executing on that development plan with them. So if you think about my website, right, those three buckets, so to speak, and I've just, I'd have to look at my page, but I built out the UBS to have, here it is. So I built out the UBS to be identify hiring flaws of the past, which would remain my Speak to Sell.
Yeah.
Then diagnosing the hidden weaknesses on the existing team. Oh, third would be, and this is not on my website, but the 5 keys to effective sales leadership.
Okay.
Then fourth, I had sales process. And fifth is leveling up your bench, and that's the coaching and training.
Oh, I like that, leveling up your bench, yeah.
All right, so anyway, as I started looking at some of the elements of the website, what was hitting me was that, and it's my fault, I'm the one that gave that to her initially, but it was very hiring focused.
Yes, yeah.
And as this has evolved, like I said, I realized I shouldn't just stay in that lane.
I'm with you. Yeah, totally, I'm with you.
And, I have to say, a little bit in my own defense, that happened as the result of the Sassy Mastermind group, the Platinum Elite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of got the feedback to go that way. And I think partly because they didn't really at the time understand all that I did.
No.
Because I was an outlier in terms of our group and, what I do. So I think that's really how it never felt totally right to me, but I picked my horse,
And there is a strain that you can totally run on that.
Yeah. So that's where I had just tweak a couple things,
Yeah.
in a couple of the boxes to get rid of just the hiring portion of that.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And the way we've got it structured with the hiring lane, the way that is now with the 3 lanes, I think it gives it equal play.
Yeah.
And I just need to be careful about those offers, making sure I'm mixing them up.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
So there's that piece. And then here's the other thing that I sent to you, Jonathan, that I really want your feedback on. I started thinking about where I get massive wow. And it's when I am speaking about my strategic conversations that convert. Like I can do that ad lib. I just did it last weekend at that event I went to. I didn't know I was speaking, and they were like, we want to put you and a couple other people in small groups, and everybody rotated through. And they said, can you come up with 30 minutes of content for the groups? And I was like, I guess so, But my point is that is a fully developed, quote unquote, training program that I told you a while ago.
Yes,
I could probably get online relatively quick.
Yeah, definitely.
And I could also do group coaching with it.
Yep.
Which I probably would enjoy very much because I can be in the moment and help people with parts of it that they're struggling with. So, and then the circle of people I know is massive when it comes to the coaches, consultants, honestly, I probably have a network of close to 1,000 just from Action Coach. Then I have this event I went to as another example, Christina Wise. Her reach is incredible. And she essentially would do anything for me.
That's great, isn't it?
Okay. Then I have all through the Brendan Burchard connection, I've got mastermind groups over there.
Okay.
And there's probably more I'm not even thinking of off the cuff here. So my point is, and then I have on my Facebook, those are all connections on my Facebook business page.
Yeah.
That Stephen Eichison made for me when I coached him. So that's a lot of heart-centered entrepreneurs.
Whose name was that again?
Stephen Eichison. He is Facebook guru, Jonathan. Like he started studying social media, I'm going to say about 12 years ago, right when at the get-go. And he's well over 2 million followers.
Funny how I've never heard his name.
He was listed, I forget what magazine. I don't remember if it was Inc. but it was a big name magazine. He was listed as one of the top 10 social media experts.
Wow. How do you spell his surname?
Aichison, I believe. Stephen Eichison. Change Your Thoughts is his blog. He'll tell you he's like a nobody. You know what I mean? He's not trying to be a celebrity, but he hired me to help him build his practice. Okay. Of course he knew how to do all the digital marketing stuff, or social media stuff, but I was helping him really build this into a sustainable business. Cause it was almost like a hobby for him, even though it was his source of income. And let's just say this, at the time, most of his income was coming through Facebook ads. Like people wanted to promote on his blog page. And he was bringing in $100K a year just on that.
Nice.
So I helped him put together some group coaching programs and whatnot that gave him other sources of sustainable income. But what he did then is on my Facebook page, he promoted it on his, and that's how I got the 1,600
or so. Yeah.
So it's just another, I haven't engaged those people really.
No. Do you have a testimony from him?
I do.
Use it?
Yeah, I have another really impactful testimony from Farnoosh Brock. She's another one I coached that's very active on LinkedIn.
Because if these are well-known names in those spaces, having a
Yes.
photograph of them with a caption and creating some graphics around that would in the landing page for selling your group coaching, these would be like gems. Well, they are gems.
Yeah.
I didn't know about this. Okay, we got to get these pieces together. Who is the lady? Did you say?
The lady is Farnoosh, Farnoosh Brock, Brock.
Yep.
And I have a pretty incredible video testimonial from her.
We didn't name the fellow in the video that you sent us last week because we didn't.
I can't remember his name.
That's what Anna said. It doesn't matter. I mean, it was.
I'm going to see if Jeff knows who he is, because maybe he will, although I don't know that Jeff knew like all the reps with the resellers at that time. But if anything, if I could figure out the company I was training at that time, it's terrible. I was doing a lot of them back then.
I mean, it's gold. It's just we didn't name it, whereas we've got a couple of good names here. And you have a video from her.
I have a video from Farnoosh, yeah.
Did you send that to us? Can we use that one as well?
Yeah.
We'll get that on the channel. Yeah.
To me, it's not as appropriate for my high producer page, because she's an entrepreneur. I don't know.
You go into the group coaching space.
Well, I'm very focused, Jonathan, on generating a lot more revenue here now.
That's good.
And I really think that ultimately, even with your help possibly, getting 10 people into a program could be a way to help 10 people immensely on their, one-to-one sales conversation and generate a decent amount of revenue pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think that's a tall order at all to get 10 good people, especially at that price point.
So do you think the $19.97 price point with maybe I don't know.
Well, you had $1,100 worth of bonuses, right?
I did.
And so that alone makes it worth the deal because of the quality of the assessment and the DISC assessment and then the time with you to review. I mean, that alone, typically people would pay more than $2,000 for, wouldn't they?
I would think. So you're thinking don't discount that. Leave it at $19.97 and give them the $1,100 in bonuses.
I mean, I'd almost inflate the price and then bring it down to $19.97, but I certainly wouldn't discount it.
So maybe $2,500 initially?
So it's a 5-week course, right?
It's going to definitely be 6.
6 weeks. Okay.
And I hope I could get it all done in 6.
Yeah. And this will be through Zoom, similar to the way we do things and so on. Facebook group and stuff. Yep. If you look at any of Lisa's programs, she has nothing under $5,000, although she discounts it down. And they're canned. I mean, they're not even delivered live anymore. I could say $2,997 and just say for the first 10 people in the beta group, it's a $19.97 price.
Okay.
Because it's going to be harder to keep putting the price up in perception. But I would rather do. I mean, you could do $24.97.
No, I think you're right. I'll go $29.97. I mean, I don't have a version to be higher priced or feel insecure about selling it.
No, I know. And these are, especially after the deal you did last week that you shared on the group. Yeah. That's fantastic. Especially how that's so leveraged as well.
It's very leveraged. Yeah.
I was so happily jealous for you.
No, it'll be good. And the cool thing is I've already got a commitment for the next 13 and another team in that company. And the EVP is already talking about all 200 salespeople, which would be
how did that conversation come into fruition?
You mean from the very beginning?
Yeah.
A referral. So an active client of mine
Yeah.
is an adjunct professor at the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And this opportunity initiated through their entrepreneurial program. And they were looking for somebody that could not only deliver a strong sales evaluation tool, but that could implement from it
Yes.
relative to individual coaching and growth
Yes.
and whatnot. So
Interesting.
she recommended me, and I got into a Zoom call with the executive board, and it just kind of, they did a pilot. I was willing to give them a pilot for a very discounted price. I had a lot of confidence in, what they would see as an outcome. And they were like raving fans.
So when you presented on the Zoom call, it was just you talking, I'm assuming, not even a slide deck.
Correct.
Respect, my friend. I love it.
You're funny.
Oh, I have chills.
You're funny.
I am so happy for you. And that is so your sweet spot. And with the bandwidth of just having a great website now and getting a social platform, that's easily the first of many that you can do that with.
I hope so. I really need to build this business to $1 million business.
I hear you. Well, hey, if I can do it.
Well, I think people are insatiable to learn how to generate leads in social media and digital marketing. I don't necessarily have people that are insatiable to understand what's wrong with their existing team.
No, and you're dealing with a higher tier ideal client who understands the value of what you bring to the table. And I'm getting that more and more now with our higher ticket clients. The last 3 that we've signed up are very established businesses, already have proven themselves in several businesses already, and now want to do something even more with what they have already, or something completely new. And and they're coming to me for my expertise now, rather than just the aura of being out there.
Right.
Loving that. It's interesting. I'm bidding against another web design company right now, and it's a fairly substantial package for this fellow. He's a speaker coach in the TED circuit, and he's very talented. He's actually, his family were best friends with Freddie Mercury's family. Have you seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody yet?
No, but I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
yeah.
So the lead singer of Queen.
Yeah.
They called them Pakistanis when they moved from England because they were colored, but in fact they were Farsi and they were from Persia. And it's a very unique religion, small religion. And his parents and Freddie Mercury's parents came to England together, and with nothing, having to get out of Iran, and then they moved to an African country, and then they moved to the UK. So he has a great backstory, but I'm against him and another website company, and he said, I love her work, and she's very creative design, but I know as soon as my website is finished, she has nothing more to offer me, and she's on to the next client. He said, that's not what I want. I need to be found online. I need to look great, but I also need someone who can come alongside me and say, his name is Shahrukh. Shahrukh, this is what you need to be doing, and she doesn't do that. And I think for you're not just going to show up, but the implementation piece, as you said, and being able to keep coming back with more and taking the team to different levels, that's a huge, huge asset. Yeah, just to receive that, because it's who you are, and you've got so much experience under your belt to not just to prove that, to be able to just bring it to the table, because you had so many scenarios that you've seen.
Yeah, and I think I'll tell you something. That I think is the one thing I will definitely agree with you on, is that in a conversation, my experience does show up just in the questions I ask.
Of course, yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway, so I guess want to figure out a couple of things. We talked before, Jonathan, about how my accelerated sales and leadership website, outdated, ugly, whatever, not good at all, is sitting out there. That's
Yes.
anybody that's got my business card, that's what would be on it. Got this beautiful new site that's
Yes.
communicating a very different message.
Yes.
And then I've got this need for some sort of landing page that gets integrated somehow, that I could send people to.
Yeah. So with the accelerated sales and leadership, I mean, we can do a redirect to one specific page within the new site, and even have some screen grabs of what it used to look like, or some of the core tenets of that site still. And because you're right, I mean, it's a super mixed message if someone's seeing that age-wise and visibility-wise, and then they eventually find yourname.com. So we should look at redirecting that very soon.
Okay.
And then the landing page, obviously, that's a new project.
Yeah. So just give me a quote on that.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Also with some vision as to, like, is it going to be its own entity? It kind of looks like a website to people.
Yeah. So in the Divi platform that we built your website on, the reason we picked Divi is they have a very similar platform to lead pages within Divi.
Okay.
So it looks like a landing page. There's no menu across the top. It has a different URL that lands on that page, but it's part of your website. And we don't have to rent lead pages or ClickFunnels or anything. It's actually already in the Divi theme.
Got it.
That's typically how we build it out. So my social media bootcamp page is like that. It's not a lead page anymore. It's in Divi, but it looks like it's a lead page.
So let's just say I'm talking to somebody and they go, can you tell me your website? Am I saying jenniferhines.com and then maybe / something else? Like, how does that work?
So if it was a lead page for strategic sales conversations that convert, did you buy that as a URL at all?
Mm-hmm.
So I would have that as a separate flyer or a separate URL in your website, in your email signature kind of thing. And they would arrive at that page, and then when they're on that page, we could then have navigation that would direct them to the other pieces. But they would arrive directly into that one page.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of using jenniferhines.com, we're using strategic conversations that convert.
For that marketing stream, yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah, yeah. So we can hook that URL up. I mean, you can even have an email. It's a long one, but if that's really where you want, you could easily have info at or sales at or inquire at, and we could create an email for that as well, because it's so keyword rich for Google. It could almost be a standalone entity in that respect too. Okay. And then we could just have that email forwarded into your regular inbox, but we could set that up separately too. Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah, no, for sure. And then, because we've got most of the content for that page now, haven't we? For strategic conversations, you don't have any. No, but you've written it though, right? No. I thought you said you had a whole sheet together you were going to send me on that. I sent a whole sheet in on the sales development page that was missing from my website. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes. So that I did. Yeah. Okay. But not this page. No, this is, like I say, this has evolved in the last 5-6 weeks. Okay. Got it. Alrighty. Yeah, no, for sure. Love to do that. And then we got to start segmenting your list and getting when they come into the email stream, that we segment them into that stream. Right. And get those pieces out. Yeah. By the way, did I miss you sending me a link to the survey I was supposed to complete? Remember I was going to do your full assessment, and you said yes. I could do it for 200. And you know what, Jonathan? I emailed it. I was going to say, did I miss it? Because I was going to do it, and I kept thinking I haven't seen it. My bad, because I would have done that already if I'd have seen it. Yeah, let me, I've got so many windows open here. No, I lost you. Let me go in there when we're done and resend that to you. I'm sure I would have sent it to We Make Stuff Happen. Yeah, I mean, I've got all your emails. I checked. Yeah, if you could resend it,
I
because
know I didn't send it. I know I didn't do a message.
no, I realized I looked at my messages because I've got the PowerPoint, additional links for lead gen, sales development page, video testimony, video edits, next
What's
LinkedIn
the last
article.
date you have an email from me on?
The last date I have an email from you is let's see, this one would
Oh,
be February
it
5th.
probably, yeah. Never mind.
I don't think I have it.
All right.
But
I'll go in my sent box and resend that to you.
yeah, I'm not seeing it. No, I'm just not seeing it. So if you
Okay.
could, that'd be awesome. Because it would have come from your ASL email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
You know what
So
you're making me think of right now, and I got to go in and look. I've done this before. You know how you grab the wrong, like I'll type in Jonathan, and
oh,
I hope I didn't send it to the wrong Jonathan. I don't think I did, but
okay, no worries. So do we want to put a date, pin a date to the calendar for this landing, the launch of this course?
so the launch of the course.
And then we could reverse engineer back.
Yeah. So let me look at the calendar. Do you think I'm pie in the sky saying March 29th?
No, I mean, we need to get it built and we need the content, but we should be able to turn that around in a week if we work together on that. March 29th is a Friday.
See, here's what I'm up against, and maybe let me rethink this. See, my April is beyond crazy because all of my conferences are that month and our vacations that month.
Oh, okay.
So I'm literally out of town April 4th through the 7th, then the 13th through the 20th, and then again the 24th to the 28th.
So where would you find the time to deliver the 5 weeks?
Well, that's why I'm rethinking what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be a May launch.
Okay. But if we work towards getting it absolutely complete before April, which is only what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, at least it's already done before you're traveling, and you can start sending people to it, right?
Yes, that would be really the goal, is to get everything in place so it can be marketed and.
Yeah. Yeah, that we can totally do that. Yeah. Yep, got that.
And I'm thinking, Jonathan, that I'll just deliver this whole thing live as opposed to worrying about putting something online. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree. Yeah, no, I would too. I mean, when I first did my original high ticket mastermind, I had some slides each week, but I had no academy. I had nothing. I just delivered it live every week on Zoom.
Yeah.
And it was recorded, and it was just in a Facebook group. We had no membership site, no Thinkific or Membrarium or anything at all in those days, and it worked just great.
Yeah, I want to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I already have slides that I use when I do, training. So I just probably would reorder them and whatnot.
And we can always give Paige a mandate to sort of give them a refresh to get that new branding feel to them.
Oh, okay.
Just so it takes you to that new look of where you're at.
Yep. No, that's good.
They may be fine. I don't know, but.
So essentially, to build the landing page, do you just need me to, this is where I'm not good. That is what I'm giving you in terms of what to put on there.
Yes. So, and we could just do a call and just talk this through. You could tell me, we'll transcribe it and build it from that. You don't have to write
Okay.
anything. It's
Okay.
probably going to be the best way because you speak so eloquently and it just comes out and it's almost gold right there. So I'll just transcribe it from that. Obviously, we've got the name of the course. We want to give the name. We're going to give the course like a boxed feel, if you like, so that the actual course looks like a real a name. Actually, let me just share my screen a second. I'll just show you a little bit of
Okay.
what I'm thinking of. So, where have I got one open? No, I don't. So something similar to this layout, I think. I have way too many tabs open to them. So we need I'm calling this the Make Business Happen 120-day mastermind, hands-on
Okay.
learning and coaching. And there's a picture of people sort of in so they can already see what the Zoom looks like.
Okay.
We could create a Zoom look like that with you in it and a number of people and just make it look like it's a class that you've already taught of your ideal people from some of the pictures that we have.
Okay.
Obviously, we want to tell them what the deliverables are and what the 6 weeks would look like without building the plane, if you like, but really painting the destination.
Okay.
Does this sound like you? Like benchmarking where they're at and why they should be there? So that problem, this is all the problem piece. And then the solution piece comes in with what they're going to get from this from you. And then from that, it would have several really good testimonies with a photograph. Okay. And if we had a video of that piece sort of into that, and then from that, maybe a couple of the slides that you have from the teaching. And
okay.
Then simply the dates, the delivery, how it's going to be. It's limited to 10 people. A personal message from you for your commitment that this is a beta program that comes out. And a promise at the end, whether you had some extra resources that you're going to put in, so that's where we put these in, sort of the DISC assessment, so that as they're going down, they can see even greater value. And then to sum it up, and away we go. So what's the investment? So I could even use this page as a template, but make it your look and your feel, and then sort of plug it all in and see what it looks like, and then from that, we can just refine it and deliver it. So something, I mean, that page is working, and something like that I think would work.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, if there's a way for you to leverage your team and time by using that as a template just to help me with the investment, do that, because I think it looks great. And
yeah, I spent a lot of time working on this, and I bounced it off Lisa Sasevich twice, and Lisa Cherney and Andrea JD. So this is HAFC approved.
yeah, good. No, it looks really good.
Yeah. We're working on selling this. It's an April 2nd start. So, and again, I'm looking for 10 people too. So.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
And that was your, it's a mastermind on social media?
So it's a 3-part, I'll send you a link so you can read it through, but this is a $15,000 program.
Okay.
And it's Social Media Bootcamp, Power Content, those 2 courses together, but with a lot of private coaching in between that, and also a PR piece as well.
Okay.
So I'm doing a third, Lindsay's doing a third, and Susan Elford's doing a third. But it's group, so there's no done for you, but it's very much hands-on. People should have a business already. They should have a website. And what we're doing is we're leveraging those people sort of through this program.
Got it.
I can get this semi-funded through government grants in Canada, and like people in Alberta, if they apply for this, they can get $10,000 towards this from the government.
Wow, that's nice.
And we should find out today that this curriculum's approved. It's been 2 months I have it approved in British Columbia, but there's no money in British Columbia for training grants right now. They spent it all. So that's where it's coming from. So that's my leverage group program, but it's higher ticket, but obviously it's 4 months. So I think the 6-week one at that price is just a gift. I mean, truthfully, I'd be thinking about being in it.
Oh, you're cute. Do you think it has to be billed as a beta? Because, I mean, the group format is beta, but what I'm
What you're
teaching
teaching is
isn't.
not, is it? No. I mean, maybe not calling it, just say this is the very first time that I've done this. And because of that, the pioneers of this course are going to get incredible value, and maybe you don't. It's sometimes, I mean, Lisa's using this scarcity tactic right now that this next event is her last event. I don't
Right.
believe that for 1 minute. I
Yeah,
think
I kind of don't either.
there'll be a newer version of what that looks like, whether it's delivered online, whether it's more recorded. But, you know, we had that conversation whether it would be Lisa or Lisa on stage. With just one of them, I can't see how she would do that. I just can't.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
There's something more that she's not telling us.
Yeah.
But I do think she's going through an identity crisis. And I don't know if she even knows herself what 2020 looks like.
Not to get too sidetracked, but you know what I wonder? Did she create that crisis for herself? In other words, she's got this incredible brand, right?
Yeah.
And I know I'm guilty of this sometimes, where instead of appreciating what is, I try and reinvent the wheel, and it becomes a crisis as a result.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I wonder about, because I know I've done it.
Well, even your president right now is creating an emergency at the southern border that doesn't exist.
Right.
But he's hyping up, and a lot of people are believing now that they have to have a 30-foot wall because.
Yeah.
I do wonder if she's definitely eaten through some staff, and I wonder if she's looked at the cost of her overhead, because she keeps talking about how much stage costs and how much the event cost, and I just wonder if she's too cost focused, and just her abundance that just comes from her being her is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if she even appreciates just how approachable she is and how people will give her money if she just stops trying to be too pushy.
Right.
I think she could easily have a 7-figure income just doing what she does on a lower key, because her numbers have gone down significantly in the 3 years that I've watched her events.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that hurts her ego. Because Jeff Walker's numbers, from what I understand, have not gone down. And he's in the thousands, and she's in the 300s now. So maybe that's weighing on her. I don't know.
But I think you hit the nail on the head, Jonathan, because I hear a lot of people say that she's just too pushy for them. It's not, interestingly, this is just my sales opinion, it's not an invisible close.
You said that last time. I agree with you. Yeah.
It's just not.
I was watching her seating this whole weekend, and I'm getting it's like when you go to Disney and everything looks beautiful, and then when you really look, and you can see the 2x4 holding up the wall, and you think, oh,
correct.
It's not quite as much. Oh, you see the cast member go the other side of the gate and they take the wig off. I mean,
Yep. Yeah,
I
get
see
you.
that now. But you know, when she's one-on-one with somebody and they present a problem and she fixes it and she delivers what that should be.
Agreed.
That is so good. I mean, I'm so glad that I went on the stage and I got that from her, because that is so gold. And that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, no, I agree that she's got it. It's just maybe as things have evolved and people are exposed to more and more in social media, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She's got to change that up. But
I mean, I really upped my A game while I was at this event and did a lot of social media around being there, tagging her and everything. I was on a mission, because I didn't need to hear what she was saying, and I already knew what she was going to say before she said it, but I still learned. But I did a lot of social media, and I portrayed her in a really strong way. And when I look back at what I did in that weekend, it was significantly good. Not bragging at all, but it was. And when I look at her own social media and how she runs events and how people do not get to see what she calls sweatpants Lisa, they just don't. There's a massive opportunity for her to market herself and be more approachable, but and endeared and loved and revered even for what she does, without being super salesy because people will just buy it.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. I do not want to do that.
I don't either. That's, yeah.
And I'm
That
shocked that the girl who does her social media didn't ride the tail of what I was producing. Maybe it was a weekend and she wasn't asked to do it, or maybe she didn't want to do it, or maybe they didn't like it. I doubt it, but yeah, such an opportunity for her marketing.
Agreed.
But I don't know. I'm not going to pitch her.
Yep. Nope. I hear you. So,
And I don't know what my mastermind's going to look like. I'm seriously thinking plan B, because I haven't got all my eggs in her basket, but I get a lot of very strong, wonderful leads, just like us, through this mastermind. And she's saying that she's only selling 6 months in May. And I thought, well, I'm not up until October. So what does that look like? I actually don't know. I'd be disturbed if there is nothing. And I was very unhappy they didn't do the book, because a lot of people, I don't have access to now, which, when I had that gorgeous book.
I hear you. Yep.
Gold.
Totally agree. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't do that. But,
Sounds like cost.
she had a sponsor on the back page, and I remember her saying that whatever the credit card company,
right.
they paid for it anyway.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think that was a huge mistake. But
sometimes you can go to tech, you know what I mean? And that's a case of it.
That Attendify app is dead already. I mean, the only people writing in it right now are Katrina and Jennifer Conaway.
Yeah, I don't even go in there.
I checked it and I said, so I'm confused. Was this app just for the event or not? And I don't believe they've even replied to me. Because nobody's in there engaging on it at all. And
I think, Jonathan, because it's one more thing, right? Like, to me, getting into the Facebook page regularly, that group, that's one thing, right?
Yep.
You've got the sassy emails coming, that's another thing. Like, it's one more thing to check. And I personally don't need one more thing to check.
I wrote on it 3 days ago and I said, are we still using this app post-retreat? Because I'm confused. And they haven't even written back.
See?
So.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Hey, so I want to respect your time here.
No worries. I've got 3 pages of notes.
I want to run through just a couple other things.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So we know we got to get my intro done.
Yes.
How are we incorporating the YouTube channel that you said, I forgot who set up? Tell me, what's the strategy there? Because
So the YouTube channel is primarily twofold. One is that when we embed video into a landing page or an email, the video is streaming out of YouTube.
Okay.
We can't put video into a website. It would just slow it down. You can have a 10-second loop. Sometimes you see a website opens and there's a video playing in the background, very low bandwidth, repeating. You can't embed. So we use a video. So for that testimony of that fellow, we put it on there. We can then use that in the newsletter or anything, and then people can watch it, but it streams out of YouTube. So that's one piece. The second piece is for SEO, because YouTube is owned by Google. It's the world's second biggest search engine. And Google is always looking for video to answer a question.
Okay.
So going forward, if you had a video called the top 5 mistakes that people make in the hiring process, literally that as a blog, but it was also a video of an interview that you did for 10 minutes, that would come up on a Google search way higher than any Facebook post that you could ever think of.
Okay.
Even a LinkedIn article. So that's what YouTube's for, is to house all of these videos that we're going to do and get testimonies in the future. And then obviously when we do the course, the Facebook Live videos that you deliver through Zoom, we'll put them on YouTube and we'll make them unlisted and private, but that's where they'll stream from. Or we could use Wistia or Vimeo either as well. But it could well be that, if we turn that into an evergreen course after the first couple and you've got that down, we wouldn't use YouTube for that, because even if they're public and private, unlisted and private, not the best place.
I have a ClickFunnels account, Jonathan.
Yes.
Would that be a place to?
ClickFunnels is fine for the landing page, kind of setup.
There's a membership portion though. So in other words, there's a lot of people that use ClickFunnels to, for lack of a better way to put it, host their online courses.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to look at that. You probably gave us a ClickFunnels login in your intake form, right?
I would think Kim did all that for me. So
Yeah, I'll get Arnhem to look and we'll have a look at it, because I haven't used ClickFunnels very much, other than I've seen a lot of landing pages, but I've never gone deeper into that program.
Well, and in all fairness, probably 6 months ago, I reduced my membership from a $297 a month to a $97 a month. So maybe the visibility to the membership piece isn't there anymore.
Okay. It'll still be online about what's possible. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll dig into that.
Okay.
So that's what YouTube's for.
Well, I'll start working on, is there like an ideal length of video? Like if I do some...
Yes, I would say in the 8 to 12 minute space. Anything less than that, unless it's just a very snappy intro to an event or something. People's attention span, if they see it in that 8 to 12 minutes, will watch it. They get indexed way better from a Facebook, Google perspective, because there's enough meat in there.
Okay.
After that, people think, oh, it's too long. I ain't got time for that. So.
Got it. Okay. Maybe then, do you think a good strategy, instead of my next LinkedIn article being written, should I do a video?
Definitely. We can upload that video onto YouTube as well. Sorry, onto LinkedIn as well directly.
Okay.
So we could put a video into your strategy. Yeah.
All right. Very good.
And then simple from your laptop. I mean, your sound is good. Just better lighting, obviously, than today.
Yeah.
But this format is totally great for what you do.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Are we going to do anything with Dockside Dialogues, or is that more?
Yeah, I mean, we produced a graphic, but that to me, I think, is a great blog stream, because that's you reaching the CEOs directly. And I definitely think that has legs.
How is that different? I get it that we've got, the branding for it and all, which was gorgeous. But help me see how that is different than what I'm doing with articles I'm posting to LinkedIn.
So in the blogging world, quite often blogs have different categories. So I have a new blog that I want to start, and there's no reason why I haven't, but it's called Empty Nester Traveling.
I saw that.
I'm really excited about it because Debbie and I travel a lot. A lot of people love the fact that we travel. And what that does for me is it reaches people in that ilk who are empty nesters, who are traveling, and it's going to be very interesting. And I think that a lot of the people that would read that would be my ideal clients.
Yes.
So I just think the Dockside Dialogue for you is a little bit more of a personal style. It's very much positioning you and your success with Jeff and the fact that you have the lake house. And it's peer-to-peer, but it's at a level that's like, it's different. It's almost it's almost the podcast in a format that it's more of you personally relaying interesting stories, client events that have happened, your philosophy on like creating an emergency or creating a crisis when there really isn't one. It's just because we're so entrepreneurial driven that we think there must be more. Whereas maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just do more of what you already do so well. And I think some of those type of articles, which would speak directly to the CEOs, I think would be, that's where I was thinking it would go.
And it wouldn't be sales related.
No, it's more your philosophy, if you like, the Tao of Jennifer Hines kind of thing. Okay. Mark Schaefer wrote a book called The Tao of Twitter. And it's very much just like, why would you tweet? And it was his philosophy on why you would use Twitter. He's not selling anything at all, but that book has got him more university emeritus gigs and more speaking topics just because he was positioned as a thought leader about what Twitter should and could be. Mm-hmm. And I think for you, the Dockside Dialogues, from a very experienced, seasoned sales, high-end professional, is just your take on what that would look like.
Got it. Okay.
Which could be a book, definitely could be a podcast. And it would be a niche that's not the high ticket sales professional, because the Jennifer Deep Strattons and stuff, they're all trying to do that high ticket thing. This would position you as way above that.
Yeah, got it. Okay, I like that.
It feels right.
So yeah, so really the only other thing is just the final touches on the website. I sent all that detail in.
I think most of it's done. Because Paige and I sat last Friday and we started going through the list literally as soon as it came in. So 2 hours later, she'd actioned a lot. And then we've had snow virtual weeks. So everybody's worked from home, but they're all here today because it's payroll day.
I know as of yesterday that sales development page was not up.
I noticed that too. I'm pretty sure it's there. That's why I thought it was done. I'll go straight downstairs as soon as we're done, and we'll work that through.
All right, that's fine.
Fantastic. So my goal is to try and complete, other than the new landing page, by the end of this month.
Yeah.
So that we're completely
Yep.
we are at that point.
And then Jonathan, the SEO, is all that built into my site?
So there's an ongoing program that we offer that changes the variables. So what we do, your site is fully optimized for SEO right now, and it has all the plugin called SEO Yoast, which when we write an article, you get like a traffic light system, and you always want every box to be green. That's all built in, and we do that with the blogs already. What we can do going forward is we look at Google Trends, and we look at the keywords that you're found for under Google search, and that changes as every quarter as changes come along. And we then go into the back end of the site and we rewrite meta description tags for you to continue to be found with current search. And if you wanted to go that way, that's something that we could look at further down the road. But typically when a site is new, Google loves it because it's brand new, and it's fully built out with every SEO ninja technique that we know is in that site already.
Are there any analytics for me to see?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I just don't even know if I'm getting traffic or not. I know I don't have any leads, but I don't have any visibility to. Yeah,
let's do that. I haven't looked myself just yet because we normally wait 2 to 3 months to sort of let it bed in. But there's three different ways to look at it. One is called Google Insights, which is how you show up on Google My Business and where the traffic is organically coming from.
Okay.
Google Analytics is when they arrive on the site, where they come from, but then what do they do when they're on the site? So it's two different ways of looking at it. But yeah, let's bring that up and it'll be enlightening. And that's once we know that kind of data, that's when we start to look at the future and going into different traffic ideas with SEO. So
yeah, so just be thinking about this for me if you would. I think the site, the stuff we've done already is foundation that's just critical, right? So I'm thrilled with it all. But now I need to turn that into leads.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Yeah.
And the other thing is before the end of the month, if we could focus part of a call on exactly how these LinkedIn articles are getting, I know there's I don't even know if I'm going to describe this right, but they're going into LinkedIn articles versus my mainstream profile, right?
It's actually both. So when you look at what they call activity, there's 3 pieces. One is what you do with your LinkedIn. It's what you say and comment on other people. One is the posts that you create, which would just be a single post with a website link or a graphic. And the other one is articles. But they're all part of your mainstream activity.
So I just want to make sure I know how to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'd also like to know, Jonathan, let's just say I wrote 2 articles a month. I don't know if that's enough, but let's just use that as a number. What would you charge me to have your team do the graphics and some editing on it?
Yeah, and then run that for you as well. Yeah.
Because, you guys, I think the team has a glimpse as to what I'm submitting, and the amount of time they're spending on it. So I would hope they think they don't have to do complete rewrites.
Oh, no, I mean, obviously, Arnhem focuses on putting the body together, creating the graphic, and then Lindsay comes along and like she changed the bullets the other day, and she just looked at the nuances and puts a journalism piece to it as well, and then suddenly it's a beautifully crafted article.
Oh, I know. It's just like what comes out of the little Word document I send is unbelievable. And could I learn how to do that? I'm sure I could, but it's not where I want to put my time.
No, for sure. No, and the done for you pieces. And we wouldn't just use it then on your LinkedIn. We would also post it on Facebook, on your business Facebook page, and also on your Google My Business account.
Okay.
And it might well be that those articles turn into video blogs as well. And we could create some video around each of those articles. So these are not time sensitive, that they become evergreen. So it might well be in 6 months' time we go back and revisit that same article, tweak it up a bit, and repost it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking 2 a month is probably a realistic.
That's absolutely ideal. Yeah. You'll do that.
Okay, good. All right, I think that's it.
Thank you so much.
Send me that URL for your thing, because I'll share that with some of my groups.
Yes, I will. Yes.
And then I want to use it anyway as a template.
Sure. Yes. Thank you. And you wouldn't be averse to being an affiliate of mine either, would you?
No, not at all.
So I'll set you up, because that's one of the other pieces that we'd like to do, is give individual tracking, so that when you send it out, we'll know who it comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
totally.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I think that covers it.
Well, enjoy your grandbaby today.
Oh, I've been waving at him. He's in his little bouncy chair, and he keeps looking at me, and I wave, and he smiles. So.
Yes. Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
Good. Say hi to Debbie.
I will. Thank you. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you.
Bye
Stay
for now.
warm. Okay.